Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another weekly broadcast, MoCo Resistance. Today is April 6th, year of our Lord 2024, with episode 26. We've entitled it, We're at War, Prepare. We'd like to welcome new listeners, new viewers to the channel. Thank you for giving us a chance. And for those that watch us on a weekly basis, welcome back. So we've broken down this episode in four areas. We're going to talk about MoCo news, and then we're going to go into national news, then international, and then, of course, we'll have a bonus round. We'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channels in YouTube, Rumble, and Telegram. We have a lot of information, and we'd like to engage with you. Our aim and focus and our objective in this channel is to raise awareness, because the mainstream media locally and nationally does not give you the correct information. They have a bias, they have a propaganda narrative that is against everything that we're for, which is American values, conservative values, and just decency for your fellow neighbor, for your fellow resident. We're not here to hate on anybody. We welcome everybody in the county. If you're an independent, Democrat, Libertarian, we're here to expose the truth. It doesn't matter if the truth involves the Republican Party. We've called them out as well, so we're here to do that. Okay, let's go ahead and start with county news. Okay, we're going to cover crime is out of hand, of course, and then we're going to talk about the Board of Education incumbent Lynn Harris is a racist bigot. She's a current board member and is running for a re-election. And I mean, if you're a parent, if you're a student, and especially if you're a teacher, you have first-hand knowledge that the MCPS and the Board of Education in the county do not work for you. They harass you, they lie to you, and they hold information from you. So we need fresh ideas, we need new people, we need candidates that are not part of the political establishment that is mostly Democrat in the county, that is ruining the county, is ruining our economy, is ruining our education. We have dropped so much in education that we're not even in the top 10%, not even in the top 50%. We have gone down so much, and it's because of the failures that we have seen in the policies and the curriculum and the waste of money in the Board of Education and MCPS. We have a budget of $3.3 billion in the county for education, and there is money that can solve a lot of things, but the money spent incorrectly, inappropriately, and there's a lot of corruption in the Board of Education. So I would ask you to please consider this information and spread it all over the county. All right, and then we're going to talk about CC members are political activists. They don't work for you. They work for an agenda. They work for a narrative, which is not for parents, for residents, for business owners. If you're a parent, when's the last time you got a response or anything from the council members or the Board of Education? If you're a business person, if you own a small business, have you gotten any support, anything from the county? But on the other hand, if you are a biotech company, they'll definitely give you 100% attention. And so we've told you that the county council and the executive are in bed with biotech. So this is true, and that's why they focus on life sciences, supposedly. Anyway. And then we're going to talk about the corrupt and criminal Democrat political establishment continues to hold on to power. They're desperate. That's all. Everything you're seeing right now is an attempt for them to hold on to power, and it's failing because tens of thousands of residents on a daily basis are waking up to the truth and are actually getting interested in local politics, and they're finding out the issues, finding out what's going on, because everything is not okay. Nothing is okay. The only thing that is working in Montgomery County are the traffic lights. That's all I got to say. All right, let's start with the news. We're going to, of course, rely on Twitter and let's get started. So we got a tweet from DMB News Live. There was a robbery in North Bethesda. 4 men, all armed with Dracos and clock handguns, robbed the victim at gunpoint near the parking garage and sped off in a white Infiniti Q series. So this is North Bethesda. Crime is spreading like wildfire, and the county is not doing anything. So this is being done on purpose. This is being done to get rid of the middle class, to scare people in the middle class, and for the middle class to leave the county so they can have a lot of working class poor residents they can control and they can manipulate, because the poor rely heavily on government assistance. And of course they'll be on top, the elite, the rich, living on mansions and expensive property, and that's what they want. We've shown it, we proved it, and this is what's going on. And everything you hear from the executive or council members, especially the current president of the council, Andrew Friedson, it's just propaganda. It's just, I mean, listen to the Democrats right now in charge of any type of government offices. They'll tell you the same thing. They tell you what you want to hear, but they're not doing anything. Nothing is being done to address the rising crime in the county, and this is concerning. All right, let's continue. And here we go. This is a tweet that I posted on March 29th, and it reads, today's March 29th, 2024, and we have Board of Education member Harris, who said that a girl defending the opt-out option was just parroting dogma when she has zero respect for parents and the First Amendment. And of course, do you want 4 more years of this? She needs to be voted out. And again, the people in charge of our education are activists. This person is a racist and a bigot, and this is an example of how all Democrats in government are. And they basically want to mirror their faults to the Republican Party. The Republican Party, as I've shown in an episode History 101, is not racist. The racists since day one have been the Democrat Party. They've created the KKK, and of course they fought the Civil War to keep slavery, and they've used the black community and for political purposes. However, the African American population is waking up to the fact, and they are turning to the Republican side, which is their home. All right, let's hear what Lynn Harris said to a student that was making a statement on why she was in favor of opting out of the transgender curriculum.
Good afternoon, Dr. Midnight and board members. I am here to testify and encourage you to allow students like me to opt out of content and books that contain sensitive and mature topics that go against my religious beliefs. This does not have anything to do with hate and bias against other groups. Everyone deserves respect. I personally choose to not have to sit in these uncomfortable discussions and shouldn't have to feel like we have no choice but to sit through these unsettling topics. It is important to be peaceful and respectful of everyone despite our differences. This means a creative space for everyone, including students like me. Thank you.
Upon hearing this, MCP board member Lynn Harris said she felt a kind of sorry for the girl and wondered to what extent she may have been parroting dogma learned from her parents. So you're calling the Muslim and minority communities people who practice dogma, who brainwash their children. We're talking about conservative families that have traditional values, families that have family values, that have traditional values and religious values, and that is protected under the Constitution. But you, Lynn Harris, omitted that, ignored that, and this is not. This is unbecoming of a person in charge that should be focusing on addressing the needs of every student in the classroom. So it's embarrassing. All right, let's continue. Okay, so we have Natalie Gonzalez. She's the council member for District, I believe, 6. Yeah. And the tweet goes, can you, Natalie Gonzalez, tell us what specifically are you doing to keep our community safe You're a puppet, an incompetent political activist who is there to raise your hand on bills and parrot whatever you're told. Pathetic. And she's right here. This is the norm for council members, by the way. This is a picture that says, "Look at me! I am with the community. I'm here with the police officers." And says, in the tweet she says, "MoCo has a fantastic police department, and I'm so proud of working closely with them to keep our community safe." So, Gonzalez, how are you keeping the community safe? Are you going to get more money or vote for increasing their budget? Are you going to put up a bill that takes away or limits the police accountability board actions against the police officers? What are you going to do? You're going to increase police manpower in your district that is failing as we speak? And she says, here we are with our drone. Soon you will see highlights in cases where the drone has been vital and assistant law enforcement. Again, you're a joke, and you're a political activist like the rest of the council. And I mean, what else do you need to say? This is what they do all the time. They tell you they tell you what you want to hear, and they expect you to believe it. We're beyond that now. All right, so here's the question to you again, Gonzalez. What specifically are you going to do to keep our community safe? Yeah, where the residents in the county are anxiously awaiting your response. All right, let's continue. We have more example of Lynn Harris. This is a tweet from Moms for Liberty, and says, "People complain about MCPS." This is a quote from Lynn Harris. "Until they go somewhere else." This is you, Lynn Harris, on 3/20/24. Flippant and tone deaf. You're part of the iceberg under the water that sank the Titanic, to use your analogy. So this is a person who was quiet about the masks, the mask mandates during the pandemic, was all for the vaccination and all for keeping our students, our children, learning remotely. And she was against opening back the schools. So this is one of your Board of Education members right now. I'll let you hear what she has to say.
People complain about Montgomery County Public Schools until they go somewhere else, until they experience another system. And then they're like, wow, you guys do a lot. So I really do appreciate the work and the way that we try very, very hard to do all of the work that, and a lot of it is, it's like the iceberg that sank the Titanic. Only this much of what the work of the school system is visible to the public, really. So much of it is under the system, and it goes to managing and operations efficiently and effectively so that we can have operational excellence and be good stewards of the money that, and so I really do appreciate the work to just be very pragmatic about this, because, that's kind of where we are. I mean, sometimes we can be aspirational, sometimes we have to be pragmatic, and we're at a pragmatic place right now, so.
So yeah, this is one of your leaders. She has no idea. She parrots whatever she's told, and she tries to deflect on the critical issues. And we need to vote her out, 100%. I mean, if you desire our education system to continue on its free fall, go ahead and vote for her. But we highly recommend not voting for her, because she's the one that actually is responsible for the way our education system has failed. Everybody, parents, students, and teachers. All right, let's continue. We have, so this is what MoCo did 4 years ago. This is what the county executive and the council did for 4 years. And of course, see, I told you they're racist. The Democrats are racist. More than 80% of small businesses in Montgomery County are owned by minorities. And according to what Democrats say all the time, they're for minorities, right? So why would they close the economy if 80% of businesses are owned by minorities and depend on their businesses being open in order for them to make a profit and to remain open and to remain viable as a business? So this is what they did, and they closed schools, and you're seeing all the effects of closing down the schools. and the way that remote learning has impacted our kids. And that's why you see, it's not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons why you see a lot of violence in schools now, and scores, math and reading scores being low. So here's a little summary of what County Executive Mark Eldridge and the County Council did. We have a tweet from Empower Me Too. It says the diminished rigor of MCPS is a huge contributor to the attendance problem, missing 1/3 of the days, but still ahead of the curve in board and class. What's to inspire one to show up? Wasting time in the wrong classes is worse than a waste of time. It takes up time better spent. So we have a problem in MCPS with a lot of students missing out on school days every week. So we have an issue, and then that's one of the results of the pandemic, of the schools being closed and kids learning remotely. Kids need to be around other kids, to be in a classroom environment for them to take advantage of all their learning opportunities and communication and social interaction. And this closure by MCPS, longer than most in the country, have caused a lot of negative effects to our kids. So this year's Board of Education elections are very important, and we're going to be starting to interview. So any candidates that are out there that want to come into the show, you're welcome to come into the show and provide the information to the public as to your campaign, your platform, and I'm sure residents would appreciate that. All right, let's continue. We have crisis in MCPS. So MCPS, Crisis Management Contractor. This is a tweet from Adam Pagnuco. Okay, so this is the tweet from Montgomery Perspective, and says MCPS Crisis Management Contractor. So Adam put out an article that basically says the following. Back in October, MCPS was in the throes of a Joe Bienemann scandal, in which allegations of sexual harassment against the principal led to the fall of the superintendent. Of course, everybody knows the information, but if you want a little summary, the Bienemann had a lot of sexual harassment accusations against him. And while he had this superintendent McKnight ignored these allegations and promoted Bienemann to a principal to be the principal of Paint Branch High School. All right, let's continue. So one of the things that the school system did in response was to hire a crisis management contractor. How much did MCPS pay the contractor, and what they did, or what did? So this is the article that MCPS contracted this crisis management company, and as its October 12th meeting, the school board approved the emergency procurement contract for $105,000 with Precision Strategies LLC of Washington, D.C. The responsible office was the Office of Communications. The contract description stated, new contract award to provide crisis management and communication support services from the team of experienced crisis communication strategists. The contract was extended for the same amount in the board's February 6th meeting. So you have a wasteful spending. You have no accountability, no transparency in the Board of Education. County Education Advocate Bridget Ho filed a Maryland Public Information Act request seeking the following. 1, the contract including scope and terms, and that was approved by the Board of Education as in its October 23rd, 2023 meeting for $105,000 for crisis communications, and the invoices that have been submitted to MCPS for payment by Precision Strategies. Any attachments or additional information supporting the February contract extension request for additional $105,000. The only thing they got is this contract review form. Pathetic. This is what Harris calls being transparent and being open to sharing information and working for the residents. This is what she means. That they are corrupt. I'm guessing that the company is heavily involved in the Democrat Party, which it is. I'll let you go ahead and read this, but I'll link this article in the description under the video. All right, let's continue. And then we have some light. Here's one of the candidates that is running for Board of Education. This is Brenda MDS. She is running against Zimmerman in District 2. She goes, children across Montgomery County were told that the Teachers Union and Board of Education and their central office at MCPS that school was not essential. They heard it loud and clear. Now here we are with the results. It is our responsibility to right this wrong. So Diaz is responding to a tweet where it says overall students in Maryland high schools graduated at a rate of 85.81%. It's the lowest graduation rate over the last 5 years. So we keep getting the data. We keep seeing the data that show us that the quality of education, the results of our education system is failing completely, and we need to address this. And we have a chance. We have a chance to elect non-establishment candidates into the boards of education, and this is one of them, Brenda MDS. Here's her website. I will try to get her on the channel for an interview, so you can know more about her. But her website is ds4boe.com. I'll put the link under the video. All right, let's continue. We have Moms for Liberty, MoCo. It reads, Poolsville High School officially opened their new building yesterday. Half of the bathrooms are gender neutral. What could go wrong, right? Kids caught having sex in them yesterday and today. Wow. Any comment? So we have, again, the woke progressive in government, Democrats, who are pushing this nonsense, which is bathrooms are gender neutral. So boys can go in the girls' bathroom and girls can go in the boys' bathroom. That is completely unacceptable. That is completely criminal to an extent. Here you have it. Here's the information. Here's what we are the only source in the county that provides you with the real truth of what's going on. Okay, and our final post for Montgomery County News is, again, one tweet from DMV News Live. Thank you, DMV News Live, for keeping us abreast of what's going on in the county and around the DMV. So, shots fired in MoCo. This is April 4th. 270 Shopping Center, 15700 block of Shady Grove Road in Redland. Shell casings have been located at the Red Lobster parking lot, but no victim found yet. Shooters reportedly fled in both a stolen blue Tesla and Nissan up I-270. So we have crime that is reaching new levels. You have county council members like Don Lutke and Evan Glass not addressing security. We told you this was going to happen. We told you that if you kept voting for Democrats, that crime was going to increase significantly, and they're doing this on purpose. Of course, during the campaign, they'll let you know what you want to hear. They're lying to you. They always have lied to you, and they're lying to you now. So we're here to make a stand against those lies, and that's why we call this MoCo resistance. We're resisting the occupation by these extreme left politicians who are destroying everything they touch. So that's Montgomery County news. Now we'll jump into national news. We're going to cover the Biden is a fake Catholic. Strategic petroleum reserves are down and not being replenished. We have the continuing Biden's open border crisis, and we have the Key Bridge collapse. So instead of saying a happy Easter, he goes, Happy oyster bunnies. Oh, wow. I'll let you hear this guy.
God bless you all. Enjoy the day. And I'm coming down to do that Easter egg roll in just a minute. Thank you all so very, very much. Thanks, everybody. And by the way, say hello to oyster bunnies. Come on up, bunnies. Get up here so they can see you.
I don't know how people voted for this guy. It's a joke. He's supposed to be a Catholic, but he called Easter Sunday the most holiest day in Christianity, a transgender day for visibility. How sick and twisted you have to be to make this statement in the holiest day of Christians around the world, and you're the president of the free world, of America, the representative of the free world. This is sickening, and this is a tweet from Catard, another tweet mocking God and Christians on Easter from a Biden staff. Today on Transgender Day of Visibility, I have a simple message to all trans. Wow, this is incredible. So this is all you need to know about President Biden. He says he's a Catholic, but he's not. He's a fake Catholic. He's not religious at all. He's a satanist, by the way. And this is an example of that. And you can do your research, and you can, oppose my view on this. But what else do you need to know to know that this guy is against God and is against Christians and Christianity? And he's supposed to be an Irish Catholic, right? I don't think so. This guy's corrupt and criminal. All right, let's continue. So we have the other side of the coin. We have former President Trump, who is the opposite of Biden. Many people don't like him. Many people don't trust him. But he's saying exactly what every Christian is thinking around the world, and especially here in the United States. I'll let you hear the bad orange man.
We're going to win the White House, and we are going to save our country. We're going to save our country. And what the hell was Biden thinking when he declared Easter Sunday to be Trans Visibility Day? Such total disrespect to Christians, and November 5th is going to be called something else. You know, it's going to be called Christian Visibility Day, when Christians turn out in numbers that nobody has ever seen before. Let's call it Christian Visibility Day.
All right, that's former President Trump being the sane, being the adult in the room, and talking about the respect for Easter Sunday and for Christians all over the world. And yes, I second that notion of making November 5th the Christian Visibility Day. All right, let's continue. We have more information on Biden. He, as you remember, he's the one that authorized the use of our strategic petroleum reserves, and those reserves are used as an emergency for wartime. And then he used some of the reserves to ship to China. So if that is not treason, I don't know what is. So I'll let you go ahead and hear what this guy is doing right now. So he said back in 2022, he said he's going to use the reserves to lower the cost of gasoline in the country, and he was going to replenish it. But he's not going to do that anymore because he says that the prices are too high. I'll let you hear this.
Today, I'm announcing a plan to refill the strategic petroleum oil reserve in the years ahead at a profit for taxpayers. The United States government is going to purchase oil to refill the strategic petroleum reserve.
Today, the Biden administration announced that it's going to pull back its plans to refill the SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. You know, they drained that to try and bring gas prices down earlier. Well, they've been trying to fill it back up, but now it is way too expensive. So they say we hit $86 today on the futures market. They say it costs too much, so we're not going to do it.
So there you have it. You have Biden being a puppet of the international globalists who want to destroy the country, and he's on board with destroying it. So if there's a war, And this is my conservative opinion that it's going to happen within this year. Democrats are not going to let the elections happen in November. But I digress. So he's the one who, if there's a conflict and we need to use in our supply of international oil is stopped or blocked because of international conflicts, then we don't have the emergency petroleum in our reserves in order for our market, for our country to be safe in terms of being provided with oil reserves for gasoline internally. So this is treason. This is, what else do you need to know? What else do you need to see that this guy is a treasonous president, and he needs to be impeached, and he needs to be held accountable for all the evil that he's been doing since taking office. I thought Trump. I've heard this from family and friends. They didn't like Trump because they said they were afraid that a guy like that would be in charge of our nuclear codes. But we're closer to World War III now than ever before under Biden. So make that make sense. All right, let's continue. We have a tweet from the Dipster and says Biden cancels the replenishment of strategic oil reserves. Biden administration cancels plan to purchase millions of barrels of oil for the SPR. Current SPR holds 336 million barrels, down 43% since January 2021. So this is the press secretary. If you listen to all these Democrats who are in leadership positions at any government levels, you'll basically hear the same thing. All right, I'll let you go ahead and listen to her.
So you guys started draining the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to try and help with the Putin price hike a few years ago. Said you were going to refill it, but now it doesn't seem like that's happening. Why?
Well, I believe the Department of Energy is responsible for that particular component, is refilling that. So I would refer you to the Department of Energy. I know there were certain components to that, and how they were going to move forward in refilling it. They would have more specifics.
Yeah, again, this is unacceptable, and they're deflecting. All of them deflect, and they don't know how to answer when true questions or hard questions are being asked. All right, let's continue. We have for the visual people, we have a chart from Wokeness tweet says Joe Biden drained our SPR down to 17 days of supply. All right. So if we were in a crunch, if we got involved in a conflict internationally and our oil supplies got blocked for some reason, we would only have 17 days of supply. Imagine that. Imagine the chaos this would cause if anything would happen. Today he canceled the refill order. So here's the chart. Days left in Strategic Petroleum Reserve. So this is from 1993 to 2023. So the average was around 33 days worth of oil reserves. Now we have 17 days. Yeah, that's your president. People who voted for Biden, here you have the results. How do you feel about that? Do you feel lied to? Do you feel surprised? Do you feel upset? Yeah, I would like to hear your thoughts on the comment section under this video. We like to engage with everybody. We have accounts in Twitter and Facebook, so happy to engage with anybody with any comments on this. All right, let's continue. We have a tweet from Elon Musk, and this is basically what the Biden administration is doing, a good summary video, what the Democrats are doing in the country. And this is what they want to do. They want to get rid of the opposing political party, and they want to have a uniparty leadership all over the country. And this is a dictatorship, basically. And this is not, a conspiracy theory. This is actual facts. The open borders, drugs coming in. You have the Biden administration supporting the illegals, wasting money, sending to Israel and Ukraine. You have the Biden administration paying for illegals in room and board and providing them with legal services, while average Americans, veterans, are having a hard time. So this is what's going on in the United States today.
The Democrat open borders plan to entrench single-party rule, explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world, enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets. Codify permanent status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof of citizenship requirements, making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved. The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.
This is what happens when you have sanctuary cities. This is what happens when you have sanctuary status in the county. For example, here, the county executive and the county council have dictated that this county is a sanctuary city, has a sanctuary status. You have CASA of Maryland, an NGO that is working in tandem with the county council and the executive to service and fund the illegals coming into the country. That's why you're seeing the rising criminal activity, organized criminal activity, organized basically takeover of the political arena here in the county. So we are fighting this. We are fighting. We are already in war. I don't know about you. A lot of people have asked, yeah, this Democrat candidate might be different. The Board of Education candidates, yes, some of them are newcomers, but you have to listen to them. You have to do your research on their campaign platforms. It's very simple. Candidates who are part of the political establishment, who is mostly Democrat, and who are part of the woke progressive narrative propaganda machine, they need to be voted out, and they don't need your votes, because those candidates are following this narrative, this objective, in order for the county and the state and the country to be ruled by one party. All right, let's continue. We have a tweet from Desert Mega Deplorable. How about that? Keep in mind that Democrats voted to fine American citizens for not buying insurance, and then conspired to give it to illegal aliens for free. Make sense. So you have Democrats who voted to fine American citizens. This happens every year. If you don't have insurance, the government's going to fine you, and the fines are very hefty. But on the other side, they give insurance to illegals for free. How does that make any sense? Where's the money coming from? Your money, your tax dollars, the money you pay when you go buy something, the services you pay when you acquire a service, and you paycheck every week. And if you didn't believe that illegals are coming in, here's a tweet from Citizens Free Press. The Biden border invasion will be televised. Illegal immigrants break into the United States via Solana Beach in California. So they're coming in by air. We're being invaded by air, land, and sea. Here you go. That's why we've entitled this episode, We're at War, Prepare. We need to prepare. Food, water, essentials, etc. All right, let's continue. We have a tweet from Mischief that reads, Karine Jean-Pierre thanks conservatives on being too rough on the illegal immigrant murderers, rapists, child molesters, and drug pushers coming across the border in Biden's border invasion. How about the White House denounce Biden migrant crime? So here you go again, Ms. Pierre.
Hearing clearly awful rhetoric from the other side. But what we know, what this president believes, and you've heard this president say this before, is that we know immigrants strengthen our country and our economy as well. We have to denounce any violent rhetoric that we hear, certainly from our leaders, right, that tears our country apart. It could tear our country apart and puts our fellow Americans in harm's way.
We have criminals being imported into the country, and this lady's saying that we have to respect. You call a criminal a criminal. You got to tell the truth. You gotta be objective in seeing things. And this should show you again that the Democrat criminal corrupt establishment is on full force to keep power and to hold on to power at whatever means necessary. All right, let's continue. We have let's go to national news now. Yeah, we have last week, 2 weeks ago, we had the collapse of the commercial ship into the Key Bridge, and here's a tweet that reads, from Silent Silas. This certainly changes things about the Baltimore Harbor disaster. Seems like 5 separate explosives discharged as soon as the cargo ship Delhi struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Smells like economic terrorism. What are your thoughts? So, just putting out the information out there, and we have information that says that this attack was 100% a cyber attack. And we're going to provide that information from Laura Logan, who has primary and secondary intelligence community sources that has come up with that information. But I'll let you see in this video, and this is a gentleman who caught the explosives, potential explosives that were put in strategic places in the bridge when the ship collided with it.
Let off at every single point. I'm going to do it again. So we have here, charges, boom.
Vessels hit for the middle.
On the copy before this, you can clearly see it happened 6 or 7 times. I went right down the line showing each and every fire point. But
yeah, so this is the video for the Key Bridge collapse, and this is a tweet from RNC Research. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen walks back Biden's declaration that taxpayers will cover the cost of the new Key Bridge in Baltimore. My expectation, she says, quote, my expectation would be that ultimately there will be insurance payments, end quote. I'll let you hear Yellen, and she's also a puppet. She doesn't know a thing about economics and finance.
The taxpayers be on the hook. I'm not sure what the details are. We have money from the bipartisan infrastructure law that could potentially be helpful. My expectation would be that ultimately there'll be insurance payments in part to cover this, but we don't want to allow worrying about where the financing is coming to hold up reconstruction.
So we have billions of dollars being sent to Ukraine, Israel, but we don't have money to rebuild the Key Bridge. Okay, so that was national news. Now we're going to turn our attention to international news. We're going to cover the terrorist attacks in Russia. Terrorists attacked a concert hall, killing over 150 civilians. U.S. said it was ISIS. Russian government said that it was Mossad, CIA, Ukraine in the UK. Terrorists were paid to carry out this attack. And the conflict in the Middle East, Israel bombed Iran embassy in Syria. Iran will attack U.S. Israeli assets in any time now. And Israel keeps bombing Gaza. So let's get to it. We have tweet from Mario Neofal. Says China slams Israel's attack on Iranian consulate, echoes of past tragedies, no impunity. This egregious this egregious act continues to constitute a flagrant breach of the UN Charter. So that was China's response to the attack. We have another tweet from Willie Khan. Breaking: Israel has formally announced its declaration of war against Iran. The Israeli attack on the Iranian embassy in Damascus has resulted in the death of 8 individuals. So this is an unprovoked attack by Israel, and they want war. I've said this since last year. The international globalist criminal syndicate want a war, so they're pushing for it, and we should be prepared. This is what Israel did, and supposedly through diplomatic channels and military channels, it has been said that they were targeting generals or military high personnel from the Iranian Quds Force. That is a military group that is highly trained. And all right, let's continue. We have a tweet from Abdul Qadir. Syrian officials: a very dangerous escalation in Syria by Israel by targeting the Iranian consulate building, Iranian embassy. Eight people died. So here's the image of the attack. So and the Biden administration recently has said that they have asked Israel for a ceasefire, but no. Israel wants war. The international globalists are losing their narrative, are losing to the independent news sources like this one, and they want a war because they want their great reset. They want their new world order. So that's what's going on. Let's continue. We have so this is a tweet from RT. Airstrike on Iranian consulate in Damascus caused heated discussions at UNC. Iran, of course, is retaliate, and they're going to use all their forces and proxies all over the world to respond to the attack from Israel. All right, let's continue. We have changing stories a little bit. We had the terrorist attack in Russia, mercenaries. We know now there were mercenaries, not ISIS, like the U.S. and Israel have said. These people were not from ISIS, and this is an attack by hired terrorists who some of them were Ukrainian. So the tweet goes: if you assist in planning or carrying out a terrorist attack on civilians in Russia and are apprehended, you'll quickly learn to bow low. So this is how terrorists and criminals are treated in Russia. Hope criminals and terrorists will be treated the same way here in the States, but the Democrats protect and work with the criminals. All right, let's continue. And here we go from another tweet from Mario Neufeld. 3 of the 4 suspected terrorists have been captured and are being interrogated. Death counts climbed to 150 following terrorist attacks in Moscow, Russia. So these gentlemen do not look from ISIS. And as we know, if there's an attack by ISIS terrorists are never caught. Why? Because they have a suicide vest. They wear a suicide vest, and they never get caught. So these gentlemen are not ISIS. All right, let's continue. And here's what actually happened in Moscow. So I'll let you go ahead and watch the video.
Russia is under attack. On Friday, 22nd of March, terror was unleashed in Moscow when a group of terrorists stormed the Crocus City Hall, a major concert hall in the Russian capital, with rifles in hand. The attack took place around 8 p.m. when a concert of the Russian rock band Picnic was about to start. There were more than 6,000 people at the venue when a group of armed men allegedly got out of this white Renault symbol you are seeing on screen and headed towards the main entrance of the concert hall. Moments later, the attackers' Saiga machine guns began to be heard. Curious fact, the machine guns had double magazines fastened with insulating tape, which is what is known as Afghan configuration. As you can probably guess, it got that name precisely because it was a setup widely used in Afghanistan. Visual politic community, there is no doubt. The attackers wanted to carry out a massive slaughter, which is exactly what they did. From the entrance, the terrorists moved into the lobby and then into the auditorium, firing point blank at everything in front of them. Not only that, they also used flammable liquids to set the building on fire. The result? At least 137 dead and hundreds injured. It was the largest terrorist attack to hit Russia in more than 10 years. And the questions, logically, are, what on earth happened? Who is behind this massacre? Was it ISIS? Was it Ukraine? What are the consequences for Putin?
Let's continue. Here's the image of what happened in the concert hall as the attacks started. So the response by the Russian government has been immediate. So the Russian government started to deport immigrants, Muslim immigrants, from Russia. So we have a tweet from Bud. It says, not much argument, no attacks on police or military, not a riot in sight. Breaking windows and starting fires are out of the question, and not a peep of chanting. Russia began mass deportations hours after the terrorist attack. That's what we need to do in our country. That's what we need to do. But Biden's not going to do it because he needs the votes for November. He wants to give them the citizenship. He wants to bypass, break all the voting laws in every state, every county, so they can have their new political base. All right, let's continue. So this is a tweet from Acontecendo, War in Ukraine. It says Russian sources are reporting that the Russian Pacific Fleet has entered the Red Sea, heading for the coast of Yemen. As is known, there are several American and British ships carrying out attacks against the Houthis. So yeah, everybody should be aware that this is happening. There's heavy military movement all around the world, especially from Russia in the Middle East, and something's got to give. We have the eclipse coming up soon, so this is what's happening in the world as of right now. And we turn into the bonus round. We have the earthquake that happened in New York. We have the eclipse coming out on Monday. And we have information that Ukraine will join NATO as soon as possible, which brings a lot of war ramifications between the U.S., NATO, and Russia. And finally, U.S. military warns Iran could strike U.S.-Israel assets at any time. So here we go. Yesterday, there was an earthquake in New York, felt in New Jersey and Philadelphia. It was a 4.8 earthquake magnitude. So, and supposedly there are scientists that are saying that more earthquakes are going to happen during the eclipse. So, luckily it wasn't large enough to cause any damages. But the governor came out and said that people should take their necessary precautions if there were aftershocks. All right, let's continue. We have the FBI, Homeland Security, sent warnings to law enforcement and potential threats to public mass gatherings days before millions will gather to watch the eclipse on Monday. This is what the FBI and our government is telling the public on the eclipse.
FBI and Homeland Security officials are warning U.S. law enforcement about the potential for terror inspired by that deadly ISIS attack in Moscow targeting a concert hall. The concern, according to the bulletin, violence targeting mass gatherings such as sports stadiums, concert venues, or houses of worship in the United States. Law enforcement told to be on the lookout for any suspicious activity. The bulletin coming just days before millions will gather to watch the eclipse on Monday. Authorities say following the Moscow attack, ISIS and its supporters celebrated the assault and shared graphic and violent attack footage, the terror group calling for similar attacks in the United States.
So we have illegals, terrorists that have passed through the border, and we have sleeping cells, terrorist sleeping cells in the country. So just be on the lookout, and of course just take precautions when you're out in public spaces. All right, let's continue. We have a tweet from DD Denslow that says, every possible effort is being made to start a third world war with Russia. No expense spared, like allowing Ukraine, the most corrupt country in the planet, to join NATO. So this is very important, very huge, very, very relevant as we analyze what this means for geopolitical interest in the region and in the world. So if Ukraine joins NATO, then NATO is going to activate its Article 5, which reads in summary that if a member is attacked, a NATO member is attacked, that's an attack on the whole NATO, so all the countries that belong to NATO. So if Russia is attacking, as we speak, Ukraine, and Ukraine is a NATO member, then we will have all NATO countries, including the U.S., involved in a war with Russia. So this is very important to keep in mind as we move forward into the news cycle. And then finally, we have Israel intelligence. This is a tweet from Dagny Taggart. It says, Israel has intelligence that Iran could attack Israel from its territory using long-range ballistic missiles, drones, and cruise missiles. Voila, citing senior officials. Israel has already notified the U.S. that it will fire back if Iran launches a strike. Okay, so let's just remember that Israel attacked Iran first. I mean, that's a fact, so let's keep that in mind. All right, let's continue. And we have U.S. forces on high alert because of Iran. The U.S. military is on high alert and preparing for a significant attack that could come within the next week by Iran in response to Monday's Israel strike in Damascus. So this is what's going on in the world right now. Everybody takes note of what's going on locally, nationally, and internationally. So we're at war, in other words, and we need to prepare. I don't mean join a militia or anything like that, but just be prepared. If you go to the grocery stores every once or twice, every 2 weeks, just buy extra water, batteries. If you have pets, make sure you get pet food that would last between 2 and 3 weeks, just in case. And water, of course. Just get yourself water and canned foods, just in case things get crazy. So this is not the sky is falling information. This is just reality, and this reality is we have to thank the Democrats for this. We have to thank the ill policies by the Biden administration and by the Moore administration in the state, of course, and we have county council and the county executive here in the county to thank for this. So we thank you for watching this episode. Please share these far and wide. We need this information to reach every household in the county so they can get prepared and they get the real information as to what's going on, not just the regular spiel that you get from the mainstream media, who is corrupt, who is criminal, and they've been lying to us for decades. Okay, so join our Telegram and YouTube and Rumble channels, and subscribe to our channels, and spread the word. We need this information again to reach all county households. And follow us at Twitter and Facebook. We'd like to engage with you guys. And coming up in the next episodes, we're going to start interviewing the Board of Education and Senate and Congress candidates from the GOP. And of course, other candidates from the Democrat side are also welcome to come into MoCo Resistance. We thank you for your attention, and join us. Join the resistance.